Are you tired of paying exorbitant monthly fees for your in-home entertainment? Do you wish there was a way to bring quality and affordable entertainment right into your household without a monthly subscription? Well, look no further. Introducing the 𝐕𝐶 Box Android TV Stream Box. Since 2020, 𝐕𝐶 Box has been enriching people's lives all over the world, and now it's coming to North America. Say goodbye to scattered subscriptions and countless apps. We've got all your streaming in one place. This is the best fully loaded Android TV box provider in North America. Our user-friendly interface makes navigation a breeze, and with the voice remote featuring Google Assistant, finding your entertainment has never been easier. The 𝐕𝐶 Box V2 Pro Android box is the epitome of convenience. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite shows and movies with just a few simple voice commands. And the best part, no monthly subscriptions. That's right, you heard it correctly. Say goodbye to those pesky recurring fees and hello to endless entertainment. Join the 𝐕𝐶 Box revolution and elevate your entertainment experience. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. Visit our website and order your 𝐕𝐶 Box now. Bring home the 𝐕𝐶 Box today and bring endless joy and excitement to your household. 𝐕𝐶 Box, unleash the power of entertainment.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with lies and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on. Chosen, just neglected. Deflected by some breaking news. Are we just accepted? Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the Testament. These children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic.
Hey, welcome to Truth Talk with Steve. Today, I've got a special guest who's going to really help us understand and learn about who we are and how we can really benefit from understanding, who we are when it comes to the court system and get a better understanding of, what law is and that we've been basically just under maritime law and treated like, basically doing commerce with all these elite cabal members. So welcome to the show today, Kat Espinda. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Steve? Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you taking the time, as I mentioned earlier, as I've, listened to your stuff recently and been aware of kind of this information for a couple of years, but, you just really inspired me because, I've heard people talk about it and teach certain things, but to hear someone who's in the trenches literally fighting, stepping up and making a difference and not having the fear. And, I just thought, man, it was so inspiring. So I thought, man, we've got to talk. Number one, because of, that, but also I had told you I'd gotten a ticket a few weeks back and it really pissed me off because, it was one of those situations where I just knew, number one, I wasn't speeding. But number two, I, know enough after listening to you and a few others that that's just not right anyway. Nobody's getting hurt. There's no harm. I'm just going from place, point A to point B. And anyway, so, tell us a little bit about, your background. I know you an entrepreneur, owned your own business, involved in property management for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then something changed. What happened?
Okay. Well, I basically was for 26 years in property management. And I started at the bottom. So I started as a receptionist for a property management company. And then I moved, I just started moving up the chain as I learned. And I was always a really fast learner. So I would just take it in and I always had a good attitude, and so I was just kind of going with the flow of life. And I was Christian, believe in God. And so trying to always be the peacemaker, trying to be a hard worker, live a life of integrity and do the right thing. But in my journey, and as I started to escalate in my career, I became a CEO of my own company, and I had 2 business partners, and I woke up in the matrix. So I woke up towards the end of my career, I would say, and finding out about the children, the underground tunnels, what's going on in the background with the banking system, how there's a straw man that's created for us that is a legal, basically a corporation, or I like to call it a corporation. And it's basically a dead entity. So they created this straw man for us. Why? Why did they create the birth certificate? And so coming to find out all of this stuff is, why are we kind of, you go through school, get a, college, you get a job, you get married, you get the house, you get the white picket fence and the 2 cars and the 2 children, then you retire, and then you're dead. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, there's a lot of drama, a lot of negativity, a lot of just getting beat up all the way through life. And you're just like, why is this world so crappy? And then when I woke up to finding out all the stuff going on in the background, it's like, well, who's doing all of this stuff, Yeah. And now we know, it's starting to come out. The class is starting to happen. We're starting to get a glimpse into the World Economic Forum and the Klaus Schwabs and the Noah Hararis of the world, who think we're animals. Yeah. And that you are an animal. EWE. You is not an accident. They look at us as sheep. And the English language was created by very nefarious people to enslave us and to dumb us down so that we'd never know what the truth is, and we'd always be confused. There's a lot of word magic that goes on in our English language. When I say, when you hear the word confused, it's really they're fusing the con into you. They're fusing you with the con. I have that book. Yeah, yes, that's a great book.
Yeah.
Because that book shows all about how they use the quartz, and there's all these energy terms and water terms, like liquid assets and cash flow, like flowing like the water, so we're under this admiralty, like you'd said earlier, Steve. We did not know, nor did we learn. They don't teach this in school. We don't learn this in college, but we are under an admiralty court, Admiralty 1 to be specific. An Admiralty 1 court is basically maritime law, the law of water. So it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? We're in the law of water. What does that even mean to us? Well, so basically the straw man and the birth certificate, it all goes hand in hand. It's just, being just like when you're born or you're birthed, you think of the birth canal. Just like there's a birthing canal when ships come into the canal, right? They come into the canal and they land at the dock. The dock, think of the doctor who brings in the merchandise, which is us, basically. We are the cattle. We are the chattel, the personal property of the state that you were born in. So the state created, and the state created this birth certificate in your name. But did you ask for a birth certificate? No, we were too little. We were just babies. We trust whoever is, in charge, because we're too little at that point, right? And then our parents, or our mother specifically, signs the birth certificate and informs on us. So all this happens, and then you realize, well, okay. So then you realize, okay, now we find out of the 𝐒𝐿 Trust that was created in our name. And they put millions and millions of dollars in this trust, backed by gold, backed by you, because if there was no you, there would be no trust. So they did this with every single man and woman pretty much in the world, documented us, put us on paper, and then they told us, that's you, that piece of paper and this driver's license and this passport, these are all you. But they're not. And when Adam and Eve were born, there was no government over them. The only one over them was God and them. And so how is it that so it's so deep when you think about it. It's like, okay, so from birth, I didn't know about this trust with millions and millions of dollars in it. In 1971, they changed our currency system from gold back to fiat. And so now we're just living on paper and digits. There's no real money. And they charge us interest, which is actually unlawful to do so.
Yeah.
They do all these things that they put on us, and we are literally slaves, and we don't know it. We thought we were free. And the best slaves are the ones who don't realize they're slaves. They're the best slaves.
Yeah.
So we got to get out of this.
Yeah, we got to get out of this mess. So as far as the trust, talk about, explain to people how it works when you get, say, a mortgage, how, Federal Reserve is funding it from your trust to the bank, and the banks basically are signing, and then there's really no money. And then you're paying back what's already really been paid basically to the Federal Reserve out of your trust. So you're paying twice plus all the interest on top of it.
That's right. That's right. So it starts off where you go to the bank and you want a loan, and they say, great, we give loans. And so here's, sign on the dotted line. Here's the application to check your credit. And we now find that credit is really, it's a double meaning. They're not checking our credit like how good we are in credit. They're checking the credit of our 𝑒𝐿𝐶𝐾𝐵 trust. Yeah. And as long as you were good enough sheep, you had a good enough credit score, you can tap into that trust. But what they don't tell you is that they're going to take over that money or that credit, and they're going to claim it for themselves by a simple journal entry on their balance sheet when they do the books. And the way that works is, so I went through the process. So I've been intentionally going through the process of validating and verifying all of my debt, all of it, my car debt, my home debt, my credit card debt. And, so I just started going through the process. I didn't know everything I know now. I know everything I know now because I went through the process, and not too many people will do what I did, because I always knew this was fraud, but I didn't have any proof. Everyone can say that this is how things happen, but how are you going to prove it? Right. So the only way I could see to do it at the time was to just stop paying my mortgage, which I did. I stopped paying in January. So it's been 11 months, going on 11 months. Yeah. And they're not nowhere close to foreclosing. So if anyone wants to challenge their bank, it takes a year and a half for them to do this. So there's a timeline, okay? But I took the long route to verify and validate the debt, and they didn't give me everything I wanted right away. So the first time I asked them to validate the debt, they sent me a copy of the final disclosure statement. The one you get at the end when you sign, and then you go to the title company and they tell you, okay, 3 days, and then it all gets funded. That one. So, you don't even realize all of this is going on in the background, and they're taking that promissory note, because once you sign that promissory note, it's a promise. It's a trust, because they're really you're trusting in them to do what they say they're going to do. You're trusting the bank that they're going to give you money in exchange for your home, so you can move into your home. So the bank gives you the money, you go to the bank gives you the money, so right, supposedly, and then you get your house. But 30 years, you signed a contract, which is a con, okay? And a tract is a body of water, by the way. If you look it up, it's like definition number 5, contract in water. It's con in water, okay? Yes. So now you signed the contract, the promissory note, which has only one signature. They take that with the wet signature, your wet signature, which has your DNA on it, and they sell it to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve thank you. They take that, and then the bank never sees that wet signature again, so they don't have it. And then they populate the credits. They create the credits, and then they do a wire transfer from the Federal Reserve to your bank account because you're the originator. It was all backed by your trust. You are the originator of it. But did you know that? Then you say, well, of course, you were the one who first started this loan. No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. So now the Federal Reserve has switched it into your bank account. So it's sitting in all that money. In my case, $330,000 was transferred into my bank account as the originator. Then all the bank did was they pushed buttons, and they filled out a form, a wire transfer form, and they transferred your money from your trust. The bank paid nothing to the title company's bank account. So now the title company has it, and when it all closes, boom, everybody gets paid. So then the title company does their part. So in all of that, at what point did the bank fund the loan? Did they give 1 penny towards your loan? And if they did, show me where in this that you provided anything.
They're just a middleman to help create the fraud, really, is what it comes down to, isn't it? I mean, they're not, like you said, because they're not using any money. The bank doesn't have the money to fund it.
Yeah, they have no money. Try to go down there. If you've got like 50,000 in your account, try and go pull 20 out and see what happens.
Not happening.
No, they don't have it. They'll have to order it from the Federal Reserve because they only keep a certain amount on hand at the bank. And you have Hollywood and all these movies showing the bank robbers getting into the vault, all this elaborate equipment and bombs, and then they go in there and there's like just bags and shelves and shelves and shelves of money. Bull crap. There's no money. They don't. It's all a show for us, the sheep.
Yep.
So then so now what they do is, now that they've taken that and they pushed their buttons and paid off, the sell. Now that went through the title company, went through the seller, and now you got your home, right? But you signed a contract, and you have to now, because you didn't know, because we don't know that you have to pay 30 years plus interest, or you can lose your home. You can be adjudicated unfairly against by a crooked judge, even though they are supposed to be the ones that are like the weight for the truth, right? Aren't the judges supposed to be the ones that look at all of the evidence and look at all of the truth?
Yes,
well, they don't.
Not at all.
They don't care, and they don't. And they did that to me. So when I brought my proof of the fraud into court, the judge just kept moving forward and adjudicating. And I said, and I as he was citing on the side of the bank.
If you're tired of supporting the big corporations and, frankly, supporting the swamp through paying for cable or satellite service, it's time to defund the swamp and refund the kingdom. The simplest way to do that is to check out the VC Streambox by going to vcstreambox.tv. That is vcestreambox.tv. Check out this incredible streaming device that gives you every single local channel throughout the country, any sports channel you can imagine. You'll never miss a game, no matter who your team is ever again, as well as 60,000 video on demand titles, all the TV series you can dream of. There's nothing like it, a one-time fee with no monthly subscription. Not only that, if you're, looking for an additional income, there's an incredible opportunity with their affiliate program that you can simply scroll to the very bottom of any of the pages on the website, vcstreambox.tv, click on the affiliate program title at the very bottom. It will take you to a page. It'll give you all the information where you can sign up. You'll earn 20% commission paid weekly on any referrals that you send, the unique link that you'll receive via email. Once you have a VC box, you will be blown away, and you automatically will get referrals because it is that incredible. I can't even put words to tell people how much people love this thing and how they're blown away by all of the channels that it gives them. It actually includes even 98 Canadian channels and 128 Latino channels.
I interrupted him and I said, excuse me, but it sounds like you're just siding with the bank without looking at the fraud. And he just, no, you're going to be in contempt of court. And I'm like, I'm just asking, I'm just saying that I know that bailiffs, get her out of here, get her out. So that was my lesson, that these people are frauds. They don't want to look at the truth, and the truth doesn't matter, but truth is sovereign. Right. Under proof of claim, prove to me truth is not sovereign. Under the 10 maxims of law, it is. Also, why is it that the bank can, these are the questions I have. Why is it that the bank can basically steal your home when they've provided $0, and they can actually have the power to just do and get their attorney to sick them on you? Yep. And then put in an order to a judge to have a county sheriff come after you and steal from you, lie from you, kidnap you, entrap you. Yep. So because you have a badge, and because you can't think with your own mind that there's fraud going on after a 45-minute peaceful protest, I have the proof. So how can I have proof, but everybody just ignores it? Right. And they ignore it because with the affidavit of truth paperwork and the abatement paperwork that you're talking about your ticket and everything, I'd sent you the abatement paperwork. With that paperwork, it shines a light on their darkness and the laws that they are committing against the people. If they continue to move forward and adjudicate against us without considering the truth of the matter. Right. So an affidavit of truth gets you to the truth of the matter per 10 maxims of law, and truth is expressed in the form of an affidavit. So anytime you have somebody unlawfully moving against you, get the affidavit of truth. If you want one, email me, onenwearth@pm.me, and I will email it to you for free with instructions on how to challenge your bank. I am envisioning millions of people challenging their banks, millions of people challenging the court systems because they do not have jurisdiction over you, a living woman or living man. They only have jurisdiction over subject matter. And that's why with the abatement paperwork, you don't even need to go to court. You send in the paperwork, get it notarized, registered mail, and then you stand on it. And then you have 21 days to rebut it or not. Proof of claim that this is not an Admiralty 1 court. Prove it. Proof of claim, what the acronym for the bar.
You've done it. I'm going to do it today. After we're done, I'm going to go get notarized and send those out to the certified mail, and I'll report back. So this, I, like you said, envision millions of people doing this. Well, I'm all in. I'm ready to go too. So anything I can do to push that forward with you and those that you're involved with, that's what I'm going to start focusing on, consistently here on the show as well.
Awesome. Thank you. You putting your hand up and just allowing this information to be on your show, that's the first step. And the second step is that we be authentic, sovereign souls, that we stand in our square, that we no longer allow these people. It's like, who are you? Oh, do I know you? I don't? Well, then if I don't know you, why are you trying to hurt me? Why are you trying to hurt my family? What did I do? Did I hurt someone? I didn't. Wait, did I commit a crime? No laws broken or anything, but you can come running up on me, kidnap me, steal from me, create a ruse and a conspiracy against me and trap me. You can do that? Oh, okay. Well,
you too.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And so what I've found in my investigations is that our sheriffs, so you can do an easy FOIA request wherever you live. If you're awake and you have an understanding of what's going on and you realize, oh my gosh, this is all fraud. What are we going to do? Because people who believe in truth and love and God, God is about the truth and authenticity. Right. And we've been taught to not be authentic. We've been taught to put many, many masks on for many, many different reasons. And this is by design. to keep us from really knowing how powerful we are as men and women. We're so much more powerful than they lead us on to believe we are. So so thank you for doing that. And yes, if we can start doing this paperwork, and again, I spent a lot of time and personal risk to be able to put this paperwork together for everyone, because I knew because I've been in business for a long time. I know how to read financial statements. I've done forecasts, budgets. I've done my own journal entries in accounting. I know how to look at a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. So taking all of that knowledge that I already had from business and being able to use that to ask and extract what I needed to get the proof. It took months and months and months to get that. And now that I have it in the affidavit of truth that I'm giving away for free, it has the answers in there that will incriminate them. It has the questions in there that will incriminate them in fraud if they answer the truth. So what'll happen is you just won't get an answer. But that's okay, because that affidavit of truth is then any unrebutted affidavit. You have to rebut an affidavit point by point. Even if there are 10 points and 9 are answered and there's 1 point on that affidavit that's unanswered, comes truth in any court of law. Commerce, it's truth in commerce. And it's all about commerce. It's real simple. This is all about making money. It's all a business. And they're into your business and they're into my business because it's a business. And so once we start realizing these judges are merely black robes, they're merely administrators for our trusts. Everything that is stolen from the people happens in the court system. It's a vampiric system to keep us enslaved. And these judges and lawyers don't sue each other. They all scratch each other's back. They all go out, play pool. They all go get drunk at the bar because they know how crappy they are to people. So they have to mask themselves up with extreme alcoholism. And I know that here in my area, I've met some of these people, and it's like I can smell the alcohol from here. It's work hours, okay? So not that I'm against, do whatever you want, but if I don't care if people drink, I don't do whatever you want, do whatever, because you are a free sovereign soul. You can kill yourself and it's not against the law. And I'm not saying to do it, don't do that. But I'm saying that we are sovereign over us. We can do whatever we want to do as long as we don't harm anyone. We don't steal from anyone. We don't steal your next door neighbor's wife. There's things that we should not be doing, right? That's lined out. That we know that already. Like, you don't even need a book to tell us what's right and wrong. We know that already. So, anyways, I'm really, we just have to keep getting the word out and keep talking truth. And as we do, we'll program ourselves with the truth. And we'll start to deprogram ourselves from the lies that came from the television to lie to us, program us, channel their crap to us so that we never know who we really are. So, so this is great.
But I have a question for you that I've been thinking about and just wondered, do you know from a standpoint of the, most attorneys, do you know if they're taught anything so they know what they're really doing? Or are they just going through a system as well that they're just told how it works, kind of like doctors? They're trained on how to do things that has nothing to do with curing people. It just has to do with preventative, and they don't do any preventative. It's all just masking of symptoms. They're not looking for cures,
Yeah.
Maybe surgeries and things that are necessary based on certain circumstances. But do you know what I mean?
No, most of them don't. Most of them go to college and then they go to 4 years of law school to pass the bar, and they just learn legalese. That's it. They learn legally. They're masters of legalese and they're masters of civil procedure and code. So you going up against, an attorney when it comes to those two things, they've got it down. They know all the procedures. They've spent 8 years of their lives learning that stuff. So that's the one thing that we have to learn more about. But those civil procedures and codes, they're not the Constitution. There's nowhere in the Constitution that talks about civil procedures and codes that we, the people, are to follow. See, we, the people, are the employers. They are only employees. And it's time to find out who these people are. Like, who are you? Who do you work for? And show me your papers. Yeah. When I say, because they lose their sovereignty for a time to become public servants, or supposedly, right. But they're not. They work for the bar.
Yeah,
they work for the crown.
Yeah.
And then until people wake up and stop being afraid of it, because we have to unite. We have to unite. If we're going to get out of this nightmare fuel that we're in, then we have to unite. And there's billions of us, and there's like 500,000 of them. So why are we waiting? I don't know. I'm not sure. But at some point, I think it's really when people's personal lives are affected, that's when they start to make a move. It's like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me now. And so I got to do something about it. And right now with gas, $5 a gallon or whatever it is in your area, food's 2-3 times more. It's crazy. And people are making decisions on whether they're paying their gas bill or their electricity bill, or if they're buying food.
Yeah.
Because, big families, I can't even imagine, what they have to go through. And now they have to feed their kids hot dogs and beans because our banks, our economy is falling because of them, the elite. They're the ones doing all this to us, sending $200 billion plus to Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's our money. What? No. So, it's just like, well, so it's time that we take a stand against these elite, the so-called elite people who think that they're better than we are. They're not. We're all equal under God. We are created equal, all of us, men and women, and they are not better than us. But they talk about us like Goyim, and they call themselves the elite. It's like, wow, you must feel pretty proud to call you. I mean, I'd be like, oh yes, I am part of the elite. It's like,
right.
Wow, you guys really are full of yourselves. But they are. But I'm finding in my journey that these people are cowards.
That's right.
They're cowards. Like when I got arrested for peacefully protesting for 45 minutes because of fraud, because I had a crooked judge. And then they lied to me and they said, okay, yeah, just come on down. It's all on video. Just come on down. We'll meet with you. The way he did it, we'll meet with you. Just come on down.
That was the need to show your evidence, right? With the sheriff?
Yeah, I was going down that was my third time trying to talk to him about this fraud. And I didn't see him one time. And in the cam footage, this is on another one of my shows, but the police, the one who actually grabbed my arm and did all that, I asked him flat out. I said, so am I actually going to get to talk to Sheriff Crossgree? And he was just like, oh no, it's all a ruse. It was all a ruse to get you arrested. So 18 USC 1001, any executive, legislative, or judicial member, if they lie, that's 5 years in prison. But so you just told me on camera that you guys conspired against me and created a ruse against me. 11 deputies on me and my family total. And what did I do? Who did I hurt? What law did I break? Oh, wait a minute. The bank's committing fraud, but I'm getting arrested. This is why we, the people, need to start standing up against these people, and we have to stop waiting for anything to happen.
Yeah.
God's waiting. God is waiting for us. He is people. We are created in his image. And, he used the word to create. So if he used the word to create, so can we, because he created us in his image. Right. So when you use your voice, it's very powerful. And how long are their lives really going to last? Now that we know, and now that we're just people like us saying, screw all of you, we're going to sit here and we're going to tell the truth, and we're not afraid. And that's where I'm at. Gloves are off, and let them see how it feels to be hunted down, processed, served, sued, because they never do get sued. They're all brothers in the worldwide brotherhood, and they're all in it together. But there's a lot more of us, so I just encourage people to stand.
we've been programmed to think that they're power and authority, you know, so they use that to intimidate. Because I'll tell you, when I went through, you know, my federal case back in 2007 and 8, you know, there was things that I did, you know, that was 100% out of fear, you know.
Oh yeah.
To my attorney even, and not firing him when I wanted to out of fear of, oh, well, that's going to affect the case in a negative way, or affect me, you know, in a negative way. And
And they never do a good job.
Oh,
What attorney is that? I've never
question.
heard any attorney that does such great job.
No
They don't.
question. I've told anybody, you know, before I started to learn this stuff, that if they had a situation, that forget the high-powered attorney, get your public defender. You're going to get as good a job, you know, and save a whole ton of money, you know, because they are, like you said, they're in the back rooms, they're buddy, you know, it's all a show, and they're just putting it on and just milking you. Because I mean, I lived that and watched it. As I look back now, I could see how I was just getting milked along to continue to pay that hourly bill, and he wasn't doing a damn thing, you know. And it's just highway I mean, it's robbery, flat out.
Well, it is. I mean, that's why, you know, when you look at Trump and how Trump really taught me a lot about fighting, because before that, I was just in the matrix, CEO, doing property management, you know, and then he was fighting. And of course, I was following him. I voted for Trump both times.
Yeah.
But now that looking back, it's almost like a different story when you look back at it. When we were living it, it was like you were submerged into the negativity. I was still on social media because I got off all that in 2018, but it was so negative, so toxic. It's like the frequency. I mean, I didn't even know about frequencies yet. And I was like, this is gotta get off, you know?
Yeah.
And so he taught me to fight. And he also, you know, a lot of people don't like his style. Like he name calls, you know, ''DeSanctimonious'' and Turtle, Mitch McConnell. And, you know, he has a name for everybody, right? Well, I mean, there's nothing unlawful or even illegal about that.
Right.
It may not be the nicest thing to do, but look, we're not trying to be mean to nice people.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to be mean to. I love everybody. I love children. I love animals. I love people. I love hanging around people who are older because I love listening to their stories.
Yeah.
But these people at the school boards, these people in our city councils, our county commissioner meetings, our court systems, these judges, you know, I mean, they're just, it's obvious now that we know what's really going on, it's obvious that they are all protecting each other. Yeah. And now, what did Q say? The hunters will become the hunted.
Right.
And now is our turn to get on the offense and say, you know what? I'm not afraid. It's not hard to start a lawsuit. It's a one-page civil cover sheet. It's a one-page summons, and then it's a complaint. You just answer the questions, take it to the courthouse, pay the fee, and then serve them all with it. That's it. It's not that hard. What they're going to do is they're all going to freak out, go look for a lawyer, pay $5,000, put them on retainer, and then they're going to say, oh God, you are committing fraud. So let's see here. What are we going to do? I don't know, you know, because that's what's happening. They cannot prove they paid anything. There is no money that they paid towards your loan. So you're going to keep paying it the next 25 years while you suffer and can't feed your children. And you know, we've had millions and millions and millions of people kicked out onto the streets.
Oh, yeah.
But all those people already paid for their homes. So so how is it that can happen? Well, we're all under a spell. It's a dark spell that we've been under for a very long time. It's demonic. Yeah. And that's real, you know. So people need to realize that there's the good forces and there's bad forces. There's high frequencies and there's low frequencies. There's things that heal us and there's things that harm us. And we have to look into it for ourselves and stop just trusting the system that's trying to depopulate our world. So I'm here to do whatever I can to serve men and women and children so we can break free from this cabal system that we've been enslaved under for so long.
I think that's really what, you know, I loved about you, that attracted me to you to reach out, is because, and nothing against anybody else, you know, at all. It's just that I saw that you were doing it, and you were standing up. And it's one thing to just learn something and talk about it, to teach it, but to live it, to go through it. And frankly, that's the way I learn best. I'm not a good learner when it comes to just reading things. And so I just knew that I have to go do it, and learn as I go. Obviously I'll get guidance the best I can and stuff, but that's just the best way. Obviously teaching it helps a ton too, for as far as me when it comes to learning. But tell us a little bit about what's the status of your situation with your mortgage, and then what is the status with your autos? Did they because they repoed one of them, right?
Yes. So
that's when they arrested you.
Yeah, so the status is I have 3 court cases, lawsuits, as the plaintiff right now, me, and they're all attorneys, all 3 of them. Now, the 3rd one just got dismissed, and the reason it got dismissed is because, well, I tried to hold off on serving him towards closer to the end, because I was able to serve my first attorney. The second attorney, once he found out that I served the first attorney because they were in the same office he ran. So I had a second. So the first lawsuit was an attorney for JP Morgan. He was claiming that he represents JP Morgan. And when he sued me, JP Morgan was the plaintiff and I was the defendant. But how is that possible when you only bought the debt? So if you bought the debt, you're telling me that Bank of America is the plaintiff. In other words, they hired you, and there must be a retainer agreement or contract then, right? Well, show me the contract, show me the retainer agreement that says that you can do this to me. Show me where I agreed that you can do this to me under contract. Right. Oh, you don't know me? You've never met me in my life? But you get paid to hurt people all day long. Yeah. We have to snap these attorneys out of the spell they are in, because they are for the most part don't realize what's going on. The judges do. If you get to judge status, they actually take classes on how to combat sovereign people. So yeah, the judges actually have classes that to try and learn how to combat that, because it's starting to be a growing movement. Oh, yeah. And people don't realize, you'll hear them say sovereign citizen. Yeah. And it's like a citizen is a slave. That's right. We are not. So that is it's kind of like QAnon. The news says, oh, you QAnon people. And it's like, what's that? I'd never heard of QAnon before. What's QAnon? Right. And like General Flynn said, well, what's that? Tell me. And they don't know. They don't even know what it is, right? Yep. So anyways, getting back to it. So the first attorney, he got caught with his pants down and served. So I got him. So his is moving forward. Second court case, I had to ask for an extension, a motion for an extension to serve him, because he ran the entire 90 days. He found out his buddy got served, so he knew. And so when my same server was trying to go to his apartment in Seattle, he lived in a security building, it showed his name right on the security thing, his apartment number. So they took pictures of it. He even answered the phone, was like, hello. And they're like, we're here to give you some papers. Who are you? Where are you at? And they said his address, and he hung up on them. Wow. And then 5 times we served him, tried to, but the 5th time he moved out of that apartment the 5th time. For that reason, so now I just served his attorney. I found out who his attorney was. His attorney confessed that he is the attorney for this guy. So I served the attorney. Now, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to serve them directly. But if you can't find them, what do you do? And I'm on a deadline. And he admitted it. So if this judge turns around and dismisses this case because of that, she's going to get an affidavit of truth. No kidding. Anyone who moves forward unlawfully against the people needs to get an affidavit of truth. And then I'm going to want to see your oath of office. I'm going to want to see your surety bond. And I'm going to under proof of claim, prove this is not an Admiralty 1 court under maritime law, Admiralty law. They won't answer. So anyway, so that's the second guy. So I just served as attorney. We'll see how that happens. I don't know if it'll fly, but I need another option because I've done skip traces on him. Everything. You can't find this guy. And then the third guy is the one I told you. His case got dismissed. He was the attorney for my bank that had to do with my car. He was the one that put in a court order to have the judge sign so that they could steal my car. And so that's why I sued him. It's like, you're trying to harm that. This is how I fight with my car. I need my car to go to school board meetings, to do this and do that and do this and do that, to go to the post office and all these things. So they're trying to, I am literally deep state enemy number one in my area. But, and it is what it is, but I'm not afraid of that either.
Right.
Yeah. So they dismissed my third guy's case because it got served too late. He also, as soon as he ran and went on vacation right at the end and didn't come back until the deadline. So I ended up serving him late just to screw with him. Just, I'm serving you anyway. So I served him again. The judge ended up dismissing it, and now he's going to be included in my next lawsuit. So he thinks he's getting off, but he's not. He's just going to be wrapped up in my next lawsuit, which is an $8 million lawsuit. That's going to be against the judge, the prosecuting attorney, the sheriff, 2 of the attorneys that worked for the bank, and the tow truck driver and the CEO of my bank. All of them, 7 of them will be on this $8 million lawsuit, and none of them rebutted my affidavits of truth. So I have literally all this proof to walk in with. And in the discovery period, they're going to have to answer all my questions. And I'm going to try and get the Sarge to be my, the Sarge from Icons. I'm going to try to get him to be my expert witness. So
that'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be the Sarge come rolling up into my town?
Awesome. That would be so awesome.
That would be, I'm hoping. I think he would, but but these, there's proof that this is all fraud. And
hasn't he been fighting this stuff for quite a while from a personal standpoint? I mean,
he's been in it since like for 20 years. He hasn't paid taxes in 20 years.
Yeah.
I haven't paid taxes since 2017.
Right. Yeah. And did you ever so when you submitted your stuff for that, did you ever hear anything back at all?
I did that like October of 2018, and then February of 2019, I got one letter back from the IRS, and it was just like, oh, frivolous, blah, 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 blah. Well, so you always pen to paper and you write them back within the deadline. Yep. The IRS has bots writing all their stuff. Oh, yeah. So so there's no name. You look at the letter, there's no name on it. It just says you.
When I listened to one of your episodes,
no name. So it's like, well, who's writing me? And so you write them back, and then I never heard anything again after that. And so I've been helping people do that as well. It's called revoking your election. Once you revoke your election, and this is legal and lawful. So it's not just like some fly-by-night thing. Congress made a way to legally and lawfully exit the tax club, and become basically a foreign national or an American national to the United States of America corporation. So you're really reverting back to your naturalized American state under the 50-state republic. So because before you signed that first tax document and sent it in for your refund,
right?
They're refunding you, right? They're not funding you, they're refunding you because it's your money,
right?
They're giving you back your own money that we voluntarily spent to them because it's a volunteer system. So
there's lots of information out there stating that, even IRS employees talking about that stuff. We need millions of people to do that.
Well, I've heard of over 22 million people already have in our country. So yes. So that came from David Lester Straight.
Yeah, that's right. Because as far as the way you do it, there's a difference between just sending in the paperwork you're talking about versus going the state national, route.
Yeah, we don't need permission
I
from
don't feel like
anyone
you
to be
need that.
free.
Yeah, that's what I agreed 100% when I heard you say that the other day.
Yes, we just
Yeah.
have to revoke our election, and then that's it. And then you stand in your square.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of a fight because there's so many people out there that are conditioned with the system. But, just like these things, now that we're pulling oath of offices, for instance, with the police who were involved in my case, none of them have oath of offices that are they're all expired. Every single one of their oaths of offices are expired. So then we asked for the sheriffs again. Can you please send us the one that's not expired? And then they sent us the same one. Now, I had sent them a oath of office to we the people. And I said, look, here's because I'm a woman of honor, I would love for you to sign this one instead, which is oath of office to we the people, not to the corporations and not to the codes in the county. It's not constitutional. But they didn't take me up on that offer because they don't work for we the people.
Right.
And so it's just really interesting. These cops, they're the same. They don't, just like the bankers, just like the lawyers, the ones on the bottom, they don't know what all of this stuff. They only know what we all know. We all knew.
Right. And then when some of them do learn a little, obviously they're fighting the fear, the peer pressure and all that, just like we the people sending in some of this stuff. Some people would absolutely not dare, but all we need is a few of us in every sector, to start to stand up, and it will just catch momentum, and that snowball will not stop rolling if we get it going.
Nothing can stop what is coming.
Amen.
And it's coming.
It's
coming.
Yep.
So I stand on that. No weapon formed against you will prosper. We have to remember that there's, when you practice living a life that is, honorable before God, before yourself, because, you have to live with yourself. When you live that life and you vibrate in high frequency, there's nothing that can harm you. There's nothing that can harm you. And so, like, even when I got arrested, I was nice to everybody in there. Like, they don't want me in there. I'll start converting everybody, It's like, the whole time I was in there, I was talking about the fraud. I was talking about the judges. I was talking about the crooked system.
And you were saying that several people in there were actually awake, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. My cellmate.
Yeah, I heard you saying that. That was crazy.
No, literally, 10 minutes into me and her talking in our cell, and she brings up the Rockefellers. I'm like, okay, this is a new experience, because I'd never been to jail before.
Right.
And everyone I looked like I was sticking out in there like a total sore thumb, because I walked in there with my suit on and made up, and there's a lot of people on drugs and homeless. There was not one person in there that hurt anyone. They all just were ran up on with warrants.
We just need more love and light in this world. That's really what it comes down to,
Yes.
And they've done everything they can through their division of all the things they do to create these different narratives to keep us not only divided, but, in fear and so busy in the rat race that we're not even able to think about this kind of stuff. And that's all by design.
It's all by design.
Yep.
So we have to the matrix is cracking.
Oh yeah.
And it's cracking, and people are starting to see through the veil. And so the more people that shine a light and wake up, the more the faster this gets going. But we're not going to get out of the system until people wake up and start moving. And we cannot depend on anyone else to do it. Everyone's sitting around waiting for the big RV. Sitting around for the big QFS. It's like, you know what? I'd rather just be free. If if I can get one penny out of this whole thing, and this system came down where we were actually free, that's all I need.
No kidding. No kidding.
So
I think you're so right. There's so many people that are just sitting around and waiting. And I think Trump even made it clear when he, on his inauguration speech, he's given the back to we the people. Well, that means we the people need to stand up and be involved,
Yes.
because if we're being honest, we have to own where we're at because it's we the people that allowed it. As painful as that might be, we have to take accountability. You know, yeah, there's people that were had a plan and all that, but if we'd had our heads and minds in the right places, you know, we would have been aware of some things. And, you know, we sit here and allowed all this bullshit and push God out of our world and out of our schools and everything. I mean, how can any Christian be okay with that? We should have never allowed that stuff.
I know.
We don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance in the schools anymore. You know,
Yeah, it's
crazy.
well, you know, I mean, the schools have the yellow fringe flag, or courthouses
Yeah.
have the yellow fringe flag. As long as those flags wave in our courthouses and over our government, you know, in our government buildings, we are not free. We are
Right.
under the crown. And
Yeah.
so we need to focus on getting rid of that flag and
Yeah.
start implementing an audit. Like I said, a FOIA request is very non-scary. It's nothing. All you do is you go onto the website of either like the county or the school district, you know, and you can put in a public records request, ask for their oath of office, ask for their surety bond, and inspect it. I'm going to be putting out a video on what to look for with these, and I already have in some of my other videos, like showing my sheriff's oath of office and showing like how put an arrow towards like how he's taking an oath to the codes in the county.
Right.
I didn't know that until I looked at it, and I bet you most people have never looked at an oath of office in their lives.
Oh, guarantee. Yeah, no way.
Most people have not. So all you have to do is just get it, look at it. Who did they take an oath to? What did they take an oath to uphold? If they didn't take an oath to uphold the Constitution and to protect we the people against enemies, both foreign and domestic, then they need to be fired or be put on notice that we know who you are, and we're coming now to shine a light on it. That's the only way we're going to get out of this. The way I look at it. And if we do get out of it earlier, if the military swoops in, if Jesus comes back, whatever, I am so ready for whatever to happen.
Boy, amen to that. So
anything. Yes, but until then, we keep moving forward.
Because you were pretty involved with Bonds for the Win stuff, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
So that's what we're doing now. This affidavit move is a big move, and really, you know, putting it out and calling people out and making them prove that stuff to us. That's what we've got to do.
Yeah, I bet you I've had 1,300 people ask for my affidavit of truth to challenge their banks. And I've had a lot of people writing me back saying, well, they didn't rebut it. What do we do now? It's like, well, you sue them for the $1 million on that. There's a caveat that I put in there of $1 million. So if you don't answer this point by point, then you let them know in advance what you're going to do. That way they at least know, right? Well, if you want to risk it and you want to get sued for $1 million, you know, all these bankers, these people who live on, you know, just live these great lives. With time to us to give them the stress they've given us all our lives by coming and shining a light on that truth. So
yeah, I mean, we've scratched the surface, but it's fantastic. I mean, this is great information, but you know, there's whole other levels you can talk about. You know, what about the people that, you know, go in and pay cash for a home, and then maybe they hit some hard times years later, can't pay their property taxes. They lose their house because of that. I mean, that's a whole other scam. I mean, you're getting scammed by every license you're paying, property taxes, registrations, fishing, like all this crap is just nothing but to fill their coffers. That's it.
Yeah. And you know what license is? The definition of licenses in Black Law's dictionary? Permission to break the law.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, people learn. I mean, I haven't got a Black's Law, but I'd like to. But just reading that word magic book is just, I mean, it's eye-opening as hell. And it makes it so clear what they're doing. You really can dispute it if you just have any logical mind, you know, especially as they go through the chapters on the birth certificate and the canal and the dog, like you mentioned early in the show. It's hard for me now because I'm, you know, I just had 2 grandkids the last year and a half. And, you know, my kids are pretty awake, not ready to like take a stand, but, you know, as their kids were coming, I'm like, you need to watch this, you know, don't do this or don't do that, you know, and you have to let your kids do their own thing, you know, but I want to try to at least give them the information. What they choose to do with it after, that's up to them. But, it's just, it's once you see it and understand it, it's like, man, we just have to be able to stop. We have to stand up to it like you're doing. You're just an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to thousands, and soon to be tens of thousands and millions. So I appreciate, your example and what you're doing. And, I hope I can have you back, and we can, we'll follow up on what I'm doing with this ticket. I'll definitely go the next step. We're going to go to the banks now, and, follow up and see what happens with your case as well. But you have any final thoughts you want to leave, and also where can people find you?
Okay. I guess my final word here would just be that, just we have to unite. They have done a really good job at dividing us in every way, shape, form, and fashion. Politics, religion, race, sexual preference, all of these things. The truth of the matter is that we can live a life and do whatever we want and be free. But as long as we don't hurt anyone, we don't harm anyone, we don't steal from anyone, because goes against God. That goes against what's right. And so we can do that. Most people just want to live their lives. They want to have good lives. They want to have good families, but we've been shown like what the family is over the TV.
Yeah.
Our parents were shown that. Their parents, some of their parents were shown that. It's generational. My mom put me in my baby book, it says, "Oh, look at little Kathy. She spent 5 hours in front of the TV." Like, that's in my baby book. Like, that was some big accolade that I sat in front of the TV and got programmed for 5 hours. But see, we don't even know all the programming that happens to us between 0 and 4. Yeah. So we have to start meditation and prayer. Amen. Those are the two things that every second you pray, every second you meditate, you're deprogramming yourself from the matrix. So get your feet in dirt, go outside. There's all the beautiful bioenergy that's healthy. Ground yourself. It sucks out all the electricity in our bodies. See, God gave us everything we need on this earth to keep us healthy.
Bingo. Yep.
Yeah, we don't need all their big pharma and their big fakery. We just need to go back to the way God planned, and unfortunately that was thwarted. But our eyes are open, and if you please go visit my channel. I do have the Espinda show, and that's on Rumble. I also have another show with the 𝘲 with icons. It's called Sovereign Souls Unite, and we do that. And, we're just trying to, again, just get the mindset out there that we're just free, and that nobody can tell us that we're a slave. And if you think that you're a slave, then you really have been fooled, and it's time to wake up. So anyways, I just thank everybody for listening to this, and bless all of you. Just don't be afraid. Stand for what's right, as God would want us to do.
Amen. And, God, thanks so much for your willingness to help people, send them the documents, because that's a huge thing that because a lot of people, that'll hold them back, because the intimidation of wondering if they're doing the right thing or have the right thing. So that's a huge gift, and so thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Tell y'all listening, she sent me the 2 docs I need, and it was very simple to make a few changes. So thanks so much, and appreciate you being here, and thanks so much for your time. I know you're busy, and
you're welcome.
Talking to you soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve.
Hey, my pleasure. Take care.
You take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey, folks, if you're not prepared and don't have emergency supplies, specifically food storage and a few other survival things, right now is the best time to jump on over to getpreparedwithsteve.com and save big at My Patriot Supply. That's getpreparedwithsteve.com. And save big while they've got their holiday specials going on. Save up to $100 on a 3-month food supply. Make sure that you've got the things that you need, as the supply chains are really choked off right now, and many of the stores' shelves are getting bare. Do not get caught in a situation where you're not able to take care of your family.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. This is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow. And to thank you for all your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you get my dog beds for as low as $19.99. Or for a limited time, you can get my 6-piece towel sets, regularly $109.99, now only $39.99. The lowest price ever with your promo code.